Okay, if you follow my directions in the last tutorial, you should have a shape something like this. I put this on two layers. One layer contains my tracing image, which was set down to 30% for the dimming, so it wouldn't distract me from what I drew and what I didn't draw. And one layer contains my stuff, and I locked those each so that they wouldn't move around while I was working. So I can lock the entire layer, I can lock individual pieces and stuff like that. Now, let's make a new layer because I'm going to put in here a reference. And back in the 80s, there was a Apple logo that had like a rainbow in it. It was common on Apple Macintosh computers that were quite the big deal back then. So what I want to do is I want to use those colors to make the stripes, and I'm going to use a mask to do that. So I'm just going to put that over there as a reference, and I'm going to make some rectangles. And I'm not going to worry about trying to slice up this piece because I'm just going to use it as a mask. So let's see, that starts at about the bite and goes all the way through there. So that's color is going to be green. And notice that I made a separate layer for this because I want my apple shape to be on one layer and my other colors to be on a separate layer. So let me just approximate this. Oops, I double clicked and I got isolation mode. Okay, double click, get the color. It's in the green range, sort of darkish, sort of desaturated. I'm going to go with that. Oh, not too far. It should be a little bit darker, I think. I keep doing that. Let's just click here to get the color. There we go. So darken it down just a smidge and desaturate it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to call that good. And then I've got this orange color. So the toughest part here is going to be like this top piece here is its own size, but everything else should be a similar size. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to make my blue one. And what I'm going to do is use that as the size I'm going to work from heretofore. So let me take that one and make it, it's kind of in the blue range. Sort of desaturated blue greeny. You know, I'm going to run with that. It's pretty close. And let me now make 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I can take all those pieces and I can use the align panel and I can align them to selection, and now I can use the distribute objects. Okay, so now they're all about like that. You know, it would have been nice if I was able to get them all the same thickness, and I'm going to come back to that issue later. So next I'm going to take the next shape up and I'm going to turn it purple, violet, you know. So that's up in here-ish. It's sort of a desaturated soft pastel, leaning towards pink maybe. I don't know. Somewhere in that range. Good. Next one is going to be sort of brownish red. Why do I keep double clicking that? If you double click on something, you wind up in isolation mode. Let's see it. Isolation mode. And now I can't select anything else. To get out of isolation mode, just click back here a couple times. Now I'm just going to get the shape I want. Odd, that's not a mistake I usually make, but you know, if I was perfect. Okay, let's find what this color should be. I'm looking at that color right there. It's sort of reddish, brownish. And when I do this, I always select from HSB colors instead of RGB because, man, I have no idea how to combine R, G, and B, red, green, and blue. But I can usually deal with HSB because this deals with the colors, the saturation, and the darkness or blackness on it. So I'm going to call that good on that color. It's not exact, but it's in the ballpark. Next one is going to be kind of pastel-y orange. Orange is between yellow and red. So let's come down here, and I want to get sort of a, let's bring this up, sort of pastel. There we go. So by pastel, I mean that we're desaturating the color a little bit, going this way in the color. Okay, I'm so almost there. Most groovy. Okay, this one is yellowish, orangish, something-ish. So I'm going to come down here. And it's more in the orange range than it is in the yellow. Good, I'm happy. Okay, what I want to do next is let's hide that piece that I had over here. That's my reference picture. Oh, and I put them all in the same layer. I hope this works. So there's my reference picture. Let's hide it. And what I want to do is use my Looking at my layers panel, I'm going to use this shape up here. Let's lock those color stripes. And let's take a look at these two pieces here because I need those to work together as a mask. So I'm going to take them. In order for these two separate pieces to be a mask on a single piece, I need to use it as a compound path. So notice it treats it now as one piece in my layers panel. Very nice. And now let's unlock this. I need to do the same thing with these other pieces, I bet. So I'm going to take those all, select them, and let's make another compound path. And the compound path just says that's going to be all one piece. Oh, what that did, though, is it changed it all into, what if we group it? Group. Let's try that. So if I take all this stuff and I select my apple and my background shape, let's see if this works. Object. And if it doesn't, I'm going to have to start this 10-minute tutorial all over again. No. Clipping mask. Make. That totally worked. So now I have this 80s styled rainbow apple, sort of, that we had back in the 80s on our Macintosh Apple computers. Look them up. They were quite interesting, little box thingamajig and what have you. So go forth, try that again, rewind the video as needed, and watch the parts you need to get figured out. See ya!